Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Welcome everyone to another Radio Free Cybertron review. As always, I'm your host Diecast, and today I bring you GT-D or 1D, something like that. But he's the Generation Toy Bonecrusher. Or not Bonecrusher, or he will crush your bones. He's pretty big. For comparison, we'll get him in here with GT-1C, which is their Scrapper. So there's Scrapper and Bonecrusher together, and they look pretty good. And then we'll just get him in here with another Warbitron, or a Warbitron figure, which, these guys tend to have the same design, or design aesthetic, if you would say. And they are a little bit taller than, their Computron, or not Computron Strafe, whatever his name is. I didn't look it up yet, but just get him out of the way. He just came in the mail too, so unfortunately a lot of my stuff is packed up because I'm in the process of moving and finding a new house, which has taken up a lot of time, which is why there hasn't been as many reviews as there should be. And I apologize, but once I get this house situation straightened out, we're going to have a lot more reviews. Definitely a lot more reviews. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to Bonecrusher, just take a look at his face. Nice face sculpt. You do get an alternate head, and there it is, if you want the non-masked version. And then down the legs, you get some purple in here, some gray in here. The camera is tending to make this a little bit more yellow than it should be. It's definitely a bright green if you've seen the Generation toys before. I don't know why that is coming up so yellow. So here is a different setting on the camera. The background's a little bit more blue than it should be, but it gives you a better idea of the green on these guys. Just to show you, because they definitely were looking a lot yellow in the video before, and I apologize about that. So let's get Scrapper out of the way, and we'll take a look at Bonecrusher in his robot mode. One thing to note on Bonecrusher, his head can rotate up and down. These are test shots, so the actual product may vary. I'm not going to be like some of those reviewers and be like, oh, they're going to fix this, because I have no idea. I have no contact with Generation Toy to know if they're going to fix any issues with this guy. But as far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint. You can get a little bit of movement out of his head. A little up, a little bit more down than up, but you can get just a tad up. The arms can do a full 360. Part of my main issue with this figure, and I don't know if this is because it's a test shot or if the officials are going to be like this chest does not lock in, it has no ratchet, and it just moves way too easy and looks really strange. So that is definitely something I hope they fix, but I don't know, and I don't know if this is just maybe a broken test shot. This is how it came to me. It doesn't seem broken, but it's just his top turns way too easy. The other thing I kind of don't like about this figure is the scoop for his construction mode is just kind of chilling on the top of his arm, and it does kind of tend to get in the way when you're moving his arm around. So there is that. Also, this piece has nowhere to go. Nothing really pegs in except that just unpegged. But nothing really I don't know. It seems like they needed to do just a little bit more work on this guy. I do like the bulk that it adds to him, though, in the shoulders. He does need that, as Bonecrusher should be a bulky bot. So his waist is on a very, again, a very loose ratchet, but it is, at least it does have a ratchet, unlike the top. The legs are on a ball joint. Due to transformation, the hips kind of lock together so they can come unhinged or unhooked very easy. And most of the problems I have with this figure are in the robot mode. So his knee, you can get a 90 degree. Now I was wondering why on this one there was that sharp sort of gap there. And if you see, it's not on the other leg. There's actually a gray piece in there. So you can get more than 90 degrees, which is awesome. But it has a little extra piece in there to kind of fill in the gap. On this one, it's in there, but it's pushed all the way down. And I couldn't really, I didn't put a tool in there to pop it out. I guess you could do that, but it's just, you know, there. So his feet do rotate, and they do have rotation, not only at the ankle, but because of the transformation, you kind of got a little bit extra swivel in his foot. But you kind of want to just make sure that's all the way down. And the heel is the same thing on the back here. The heel does peg in right on the very back. But you get a little bit of wiggle from side to side just due to transformation, because when you go to transform it, you're going to spin this all the way around. So there's that. And he does have an upper thigh rotation, which does get in the way of the missile. So if you want to totally rotate his leg around, you just got to slide that missile pod down to allow it to rotate. If not, you're only going to get about that much, which is enough. I mean, I don't think you need too much at the upper part of the leg, but just so you're aware. And then the legs only go out about that far, just due to the bulk of this guy. They go back about that far. As you can see, the top of him just keeps spinning around. But with the more than 90 degree knee, you do get, you know, that's plenty. And forward, he can go forward that far, which is nice. Again, these missile pods do kind of get in the way. His gun, he does have the better gun of the two. And the reason why I like his gun just a little bit better is because the handle folds back and this piece folds around. I'm assuming for storage. I didn't get any instructions, so I'm assuming it's for storage, but the gun for Scrapper is just kind of, do a comparison real quick. The handle does slide back, but the barrel is very loose and unplugs for, I don't know, for whatever reason. It looks like there's a peg hole here that you could do random things with. You can. I don't know why, but maybe it's in the instructions, and again, maybe it's for transformation, but it's a little bit looser than I would have liked, especially since this is unpainted anyway. Maybe they allowed for paint and then changed it. I don't know. It's just a little loose. But it won't fall out if you shake it. So, and again, that's Scrapper's gun, so we're kind of getting off the subject here, but just to compare them, his arm does not really have a double joint. His wrists rotate, and his hands are, his thumb stays in one place, and his fingers are all on one peg. So, then we'll go to the back of the figure. And on this guy, it's not horrible. This is the hand piece slash extra piece that carries behind them, and it plugs into that tab right there. And you can kind of leave it on the back to bulk him up a little bit more. And on Scavenger, it goes on the back, and it kind of doesn't make it look like the scoop is hanging out as far as it is, which is nice. But you can do it with both figures to store the parts on the back, which, you know, they didn't have to do, but I like that they did it. This flap up here, I wish would have been able to fold down a little bit more. This is what, you know, covers up that hole there. So it does add some height to the figure, but it just doesn't look as clean as I would have liked. I would have much rather this folded all the way down. So you can take this backpack piece off just by rotating it around. It's on like a little slide peg thing. And that's the other thing. The waist does have this hinge for transformation, and it doesn't really lock in except for these two little pegs on the side, one on each side. And it's just, it's not as secure as I would have liked it. I would have wished they would have found a different way to kind of lock that together. That way it didn't come unhinged in robot mode, because you can kind of shake it. And I'm being really hard on this figure. I do really like it, but not as a standalone figure, just because it looks like it's going to be an awesome Devastator. So if this was just a standalone figure, I would definitely be saying, you know, this is probably one you just want to kind of pass on. But because it's going to make an awesome looking Devastator, I definitely think it's still worth picking up. And let's go ahead and get into the transformation on him. First thing you want to do is we're going to come down to the legs and raise these panels up on the side. We'll fill in the treads. Bring this foot up and around. Gonna unclip the little heel piece. You can flip that around too if you want. Or no, you can't. Yeah, it stays right there. Come to the back of the leg. Flip that panel up. That'll actually tab in. These we're just going to leave on the side for now. Same thing on the other side. Lift that panel up. Just rotate this all around. Close that up. And a lot of times that comes unpegged, so you don't even have to unpeg the back of the leg. Rotate that up. And that might be on the wrong side. Yeah, they're going to be on the inside. Just like that. And then pull the waist apart. Which again, this doesn't tab together as nicely as I would have liked. But it is what it is at this point. I'm going to rotate that all the way around. Missed that panel right there. And then we're going to come up to the top. He is looking a little messy right now. Just cover up his face. That kind of goes in there. And we're going to rotate that. And now the arms, you just want to get these scoops out of the way. We can put the hands back in, flip that panel up, and just push them in like that. Flip that up, push them in. Collapse the arms. And I believe yeah, these pieces tend to come off real easy. So I just kind of get them out of the way. Same thing on this. Put that down, round, that together. Then unpeg these. Unpeg that from the side right there. Rotate that around. Rotate that around. So shoulders are on the inside. Let's go into that. This panel locks in right up there. And these pieces form the grill. It all tabs together. And that's that upper part of the truck just rotating around when it really shouldn't. And then there's two spots right here that the grill just clips into. And there you have the front of the digger or sled done. And then as we were rotating this, these pieces on the front, the whole waist section rotated around. So you want the arms to be in front of this silver piece right here when you lock this all together. And it rotates around so easy that it's, you know, it's very easy to mistransform. Flip that down, lock that back in. And we're going to rotate these legs around. And the waist flips up. And same thing on this leg. Flip that around. That peg we want coming to the back. And now that you got the legs flipped around, there's a little tab right there that this leg will tab into. Just like so. That secures the tread. Same thing on the other side. Bring this leg, rotate it around. Make sure this hip piece is all the way out. Otherwise it's going to give you a little bit of trouble. And clip that in just like so. And you can see here how the feet kind of just fill in the back. And now the only thing you have to do is come back up to the front and get this get the shovel kind of rotated the right way. Like that. Now these pieces right here tab together. And tab in at the front. Come on. There we go. Now we got that all popped together. If you have this piece on still, you're doing pretty good. On this side it popped off, so we'll just pop that back on. There we go. In the hole? Nope. Alright. And then these pieces lift up. And that can swing around to the back. Same thing on this side. They don't really have anywhere to tab in when they flip up. They just kind of flip up. So then these missiles you can press in, but the problem is that you can only press them in so far and they still stick out. And you can see there is a section there that they are supposed to move up just a little bit more, but the problem is no matter how hard you press, they won't slide up that additional bit. You can see the notches in my thumb from trying to press that up. So that is another flaw that hopefully they'll fix before this figure actually releases. So same thing on this, flip that down, press the missiles up as far as you can, and then this does tab in right there. And this does not tab in at all, so it can, you know, come a little bit out. This piece right here has really nowhere to go, but you can kind of slide it in that slot right there, which will allow a little bit of movement. And that's the other problem I have with this, is that the shovel just tends to untab and be very, very hard to move the shovel if you want to. So again, not that I need to, because I'm not going to be using this. He's going to be in Devastator mode, so it doesn't really bother me too much, but it is something to be aware of if that really bothers you. So but again, as far as static goes, he looks like a nice little bulldozer. Nice detail on the grill here. On the back you have the spot for his trailer, whatever you would call it. And then you can just close this up, push this in, and before you push this all the way in, just want to kind of line it up on here. That's going to give you the clearance you need to connect this. Rotate it around so it's on there tight, and then you can press this in, and that gives him his extra wheels in the back, or generator, or whatever that thing is on the back of it. And it gives it a, you know, that is sturdy, so that's nice. And then just to give you an idea of what the hand looks like, because I do like the size of these. Flip these open, and there's Devastator's hand. All individually articulated on ball joints, so you can get a little bit of a spread on the fingers. Thumbs articulated in 2 spots, and has a ball joint. And then on the top of his hand, you have a little missile pod section that you can angle out, which, again, I really like. And I'm buying this for Devastator, so I'm happy so far with how this turned out and how I think Devastator is going to turn out. Now, I could be wrong, and Devastator could turn out horrible, but I don't think that's going to be the case with this guy. So flip that open, put that back in, and there you have him. There you have Bonecrusher. He is probably the weakest one out of the group for me so far, just due to tolerance issues and things not really tabbing or moving or having anywhere to go. But still, I would definitely recommend him because this is going to be a tremendous, tremendous Devastator. And just to give you an idea, there's the port right there to plug this in on his arm. And I'm not even going to try to do the arm mode. I'm just... it's tight. I can't even get that out. But it does... It has free movement right to here. And then it's ratcheted the rest of the way. So... And I don't want to break a test shot. Because that's what this is. It's a test shot. It's not mine. It's going back. I want to give a thank you to Brandon at The Chosen Prime for sending this out to me. I've had a lot of fun messing around with it. Yeah, so here you have Bonecrusher.